Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Emily and I hope you've been visiting my channel. If you haven't, then today is a great day to be here because I am going to talk about creating interesting tip-ins, useful tip-ins for your art journals, your junk journals, traveler's notebook journals. If you're not familiar what a tip-in is, it's something that didn't come in your notebook. You created a way to just tip it into your notebook. Usually this is done with washi tape or glue. This was a book page that I washi taped the edge in. You washi tape on both edges and then it becomes something that you tipped into your journal. And I wanted to give you some ideas for things that you can use for tip-ins because you are only limited by your own creativity, really. Envelopes that you can get in stationery packs. You know, at Goodwill, there's always a lot of envelope note card sets. And they're like $1.99 or something, and you can get the sets, and then you can use the cards and the envelopes for tip-ins in your journal. And I like to stick in journaling cards or just pieces of paper in the envelopes with my journaling, especially if it's something that is maybe sort of private. I just stick it in a little envelope. It's tipped into my journal, and it's also a little something fun that you can just find. Pictures that your kids color, you can glue down one side, tip those in, and it becomes something kind of added. I love journal surprises. Scrapbook paper with sprocket photos, regular photos, you can create tip-ins by just taping down, washi taping the edge. I'm just showing you some examples from this journal if you weren't even familiar what a tip-in really is. This was a card, I think, that came from a Goodwill kit, and I just taped it onto the back and then had it flip around to the front. Just be creative with how you can make things fold, how you can make things come out. Here's a full-size envelope that I put pictures on. There's journaling in. So let's just talk about some options for tip-ins. That is one of my old art journals. I haven't, junk journals. I haven't walked you through that one. I didn't end up finishing. There's a few unfinished pages. This is actually volume 3. There's a few unfinished pages in this one. This one's from sort of September through winter. My grandmother died, and it was just kind of a hard time, and I was just done with this journal. I just wanted to move on. I know you guys know what that feels like. When you just want to move on into something new, start a new chapter. So this is an art journaling page, and I'm just going to kind of show you what you can do with tip-ins. I will just, I'm going to do this kind of quickly, show you how you can tape in a tip-in, this is a sprocket photo. Sprocket photos make awesome tip-ins because you can journal on them. You can just use them as decoration in your journal, just to add photos or whatever. So you just cut your washi tape, put it along any edge, and just be creative with what edge. I can make it tip in from the top. I can make it tip in from the bottom, from the side. This time I'm actually going to do it from the edge. So I'm taping it on the edge, and I'm putting it around back. And I'm going to have it flip in from this side of my journal, which is not what you would typically expect. Sorry, my lighting is very dark because it is raining cats and dogs here right now. And then to make it extra secure, you can take the other side and run a piece of washi along this seam as well. And that will secure your photo. Some people say that washi loses stickiness and becomes a little bit unreliable after time. I haven't had that happen, but I could imagine where it would. So you could run some tacky glue. This is Aleene's tacky glue down the edge. There's good glue sticks out there. Not all of them are good. This one is terrible. Craft Bond Extra Strength. They got me with the extra strength. It is not extra strength. It sucks. So that's one tip-in idea. If you want to use a full-size picture, run washi along, and you could do the same thing. Tip it up from the bottom. You could journal on it, or it just becomes something else to look at. Doilies, you're really only limited by your imagination, really. If you wanted to journal on this, you could cut it in half. It could just make layers on a page. It's cool making layers. Doesn't have to, you know, be anything more than just a layer, really. I mean, the more you add to your journals, the more fun they are when you go back and look at them. It doesn't have to make sense. It just do what you feel like doing, and it, you know, it'll work out. It'll turn out, and it'll be something for you to look back on. And I think that's the most important thing to remember about journaling, is that it's not a serious activity. This isn't like you're not submitting these to, you know, the art museum. Like, it's just your journal. Like, just have fun with it. And see, I picked a little bit of an inconvenient place to tip this in, because you can see it's kind of hard to do right on the where the spiral is. And a lot of notebooks don't have spirals like this, so it's a little bit easier. But you can do that. And you could put pictures behind this, so you could see it behind the doily. You could write on this. You could use it as like a little cover page kind of thing. Those are ideas. I'm just flipping around in my notebook, adding stuff higgledy-piggledy. This is a journaling card that I got in just a little set. So I might just tip this in maybe from the top. And a lot of times I'll put pictures on my tip-ins as well as journaling. It also creates extra room for you in your journal, as well as the fun layers that make a journal pretty awesome. And like I said, just experiment with where you put them, especially if you get in the habit of putting them all in the same spot, like all along the top. Your journal is going to get really fat in that one area. It might get a little uneven. So if you spread them around, like some on the top, some on the bottom, then it doesn't get overly bulky in one specific area. Here is just an envelope. And with envelopes, what I like to do is you can do several different things, but I kind of like to glue it onto the back side of one and then have it flip onto the front of another. So what you can do is spread some of your tacky glue on the flap of the envelope. And I glued the top of my glue on. Glued the top of my glue. Welcome to my channel. Spread the glue on. Didn't get enough. As I said, welcome. We just... Oh, and see, I'm doing it backwards. I wanted to flip in this way, so I want to glue the flap down on this side. And you can also put washi on there. But it creates a flip-in, tip-in, flip-in on this side that you can slip journaling into. So I like that idea. This, just a note card. You could flip in, tip in regular note cards. They've evolved from tip-ins to flip-ins now. So in case you were wondering, this is a tip-in, flip-in. This is a note card set from the $1 spot at Target. And you can use the actual note cards as tip-ins, or you can use the envelopes. Both look amazing, so that's fun. Let's tip this bad boy in, huh? How do we want to do that one? How about right there? It adds decoration on the other side.
So I just wanted to, oh, that's unfortunate. A little premature gluulation. Oh, that was hilarious and disgusting all at the same time. Don't tell me you weren't thinking it. You totally were. You totally were. Aileen, you got us. Aileen's tacky. You got us.
Alright. So I'm sticking this over the side and mashing it on there like so. Getting my glue. Pressing this on. I'm sorry, there's usually not such terrible shadows on my stuff because I use natural light from the gigantic window in front of me. But right now I'm using other lights because it's so gloomy outside. So that creates tip in on this side. Wipe off my excess glue so that I'm able to open it. And then it creates decoration on this side and that side. And you can put pictures, journal on that card, do whatever you want. But gives you one other example. And you can do the same thing with the envelope that I showed you with the last set of envelopes. Let's see. You can use greeting cards. I love to tip in cards that I've gotten in. People often forget about doing things off the bottom because you can flip it out and it gives you something to look at and journal on. So that's a good idea. Book pages. I got this little book. I think it was in the clearance rack at Barnes & Noble. And it's just got quotes and pocketbook of mindfulness. So if I find something that strikes me, like I like this, I rip it out. And I tip it in. So this says, when I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Thank you, Lao Tzu. You are... The washi tape just adds another element of decoration and stuff to look at. And I'm not even worrying about what my spread will be for this in the future, because I just go willy-nilly on things. I don't, I just try and not overthink it too much. So I think the tip to making your tip-ins a little bit more stable is making sure that you do the back and the front. Then it's not as likely to rip out on you. And like I said, you can reinforce with some glue on your washi if you think your washi will lose its stickiness over time. Book pages, another great idea. I was going to do a journal spread about our fun dinner stuff. So this, we've actually played these before. It's from Chick-fil-A. It was these little dinner games that you could play at the dinner table with your kids. And we actually played this one, so you could use this as a tip-in. Sorry about that. My phone was ringing. It's my work. I'll call. They need help. I work at a hospital in a NICU, and they call me when they are busy and they need help. So Chick-fil-A, things like this, just things around your house, cards. I cut this off of a noodle box because it has the window, the like acetate kind of window. It was another thing that I thought I'd use for our dinner spread. So you could tip this in and you could journal on the back of it. So that's another fun idea. I found these leaves that I had gotten at the Dollar Tree last year for something we were doing for a fall project. You could tip in a leaf. You could journal on the leaf. I even tried writing on it with a gel pen. It wrote beautifully. So you could write anything you wanted on there. And you could either glue in this side of it and have that side go up. You could do anything you wanted there. Pieces of acetate, those are always fun. Because it just is another layer to your journal. So let's go on the edge with this. Let's see. I love layers. So I like doing it like that, thinking about, and you can cut acetate in the half pages. It doesn't have to cover your full page. It's just another layer of depth on your journaling. Here's another sheet of acetate. Just cut off a little box, and I could tip that in another place. Tip that in here. Ooh, that looks cool. I like that. Tape along the edge, and I'll show you how you can reinforce the edges to the pretty feather. These are stickers that I found at my Dollar Tree. So you can do that, and then you can also reinforce this back side. Add another piece of tape, like just, I would choose like a different color, maybe just to make it more interesting, but just choose a different piece of tape that you can put over here just to make that piece more stable. And you can do the same thing on the other side. You can add a piece of washi down this edge and it becomes decorative, but it also functions to get this one to stay down properly. I tipped in pieces of fabric that are quilt scraps that my mom made. And here is a big 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper, and they have journaling cards on scrapbook paper that you could cut out and use as tip-ins. Like this would be a great tip-in to cut out and put in your journal. You can make a sweet drinking game out of how many times I've said tip-ins. I am not being precious about tape that I use or, you know, trying to coordinate with anything. It's going to be what it will be. And you know what? The cool thing is it always seems to work out in your journal. Like, no matter the most obscure, weird photo that you choose or a piece of collage art, it always seems to relate back to something that you had on your mind to journal. And that's the really cool thing, is you never know where your journal is going to take you, but oftentimes just having things like I'm doing right now on your pages can really be cool, because your mind's not a complete blank. There's something there to start you off, which is, I think, part of the intimidating part of journaling at times, is figuring out where to start. So just throw things in there. Start throwing in some tip-ins and see where it takes you. You really can't go wrong. You really can't. All it does is add spice and fun to your journals. Make them interesting to look at. And like I said, just remember that your journals are not precious. They are they're an outlet for you. So don't try and be perfect in them. That will only lead to frustration and will not be what the journal is meant to be for you, which should be something that you enjoy and something that helps you, relieve stress and be an outlet for your feelings, an outlet for memories. So just remember that when you're struggling to start, just start anywhere. Just start tipping stuff in, and you'll be surprised to see where it takes you, because all you have to do to be a journaler, to be an artist, to be a YouTuber is just start. And with that, I hope you have a great day. Come back and join me for my daily plan with me's, my weekly plan with me's, and more art and junk journaling. Thanks!